Hi, my name's Hong and I'm here to give you my honest opinion about this little frame. And to do that, I have created a set of criteria that breaks down the frame into 5 different sections to help us come to a well-informed, detailed conclusion. The 5 different sections consist of presentation, design, quality, durability, and value. These 5 areas will be rated out of 5 in each category, and then we will tally up all the scores and average them out to give us an overall rating. This rating system still needs to be refined, so please bear with me. It may work or it may not, we shall find out soon enough. At least I'm trying something different, right? The goal of our rating system is to help us document all these frames and make it easier to quickly find the right frame for you. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that the information presented here in this review is to help make your own conclusions, and the opinions expressed are just opinions. Presentation. Relacc's latest frame is the RX130. It's a 3mm unibody True X frame. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they decided to ship their frame in a cheap, wrinkly plastic bag. It doesn't leave a great first impressions at all. However, the contents of this plastic bag is what matters most, and Realacc have done a great job with the carbon fibre, which puzzles me as to why they left this little guy in a worn out plastic bag, especially when I have received all of Realac's frames in a box so far. As for the frame itself, I couldn't find much wrong with the cut and finish. For the most part, the carbon fibre plates were very clean. It was almost perfect, although I did find a few dirty spots, but that's just being nitpicky. All it needs is a quick wipe. It would have been nice to include some instructions or an assembling diagram to help make the building process go much smoother. However, thankfully it was logical and fairly straightforward. When fully assembled, this guy looks great. I think Realacc did a great job in making a similar design and inspired by Armatan's Morphite 155. However, I'm going to rate the RX130 based on its own merits. So forget that it's a Chinese copy. I just want to review this frame alone without any preconception or prior knowledge. So just imagine we are in another dimension and where nothing but the RX130 exists. There can only be one.
There can be only one.
And the score is 2.6 out of 5. The poor packaging and having no documentation really hurt them in this department. If they showed a bit more love for their product, then it could have made a difference. However, the carbon fibre plates were in superb condition. Design. So I think it's time for us to give a nod to the designer of the original frame, the Armatan Morphite 155, which the RX130 took inspiration from. We can thank Florent because without him we would never have the RX130. This is a true X frame. You may have heard this mentioned before, but for the people who don't, a true X frame is when all sides are equal. So if you measure motor to motor, the length should all be the same for all of the sides. True X's are different from H frames. X frames are more agile and snappy. Usually there is much more space to put in your electronics on a H frame, however it's the opposite for true X's. This is especially true for minimalistic true X frames like the RX130, and this is why the frame's height is so high. The only way is up, or so they say. Because it's so top heavy, it's got such a large profile that's going to impact its aerodynamics. But the only way to find out how this guy handles is to take it for a test flight, which I will do once I get some new motors that will fit this thing. Unfortunately, Realacc's RX130 have a pretty big flaw. The motor mount holes don't fit the 1104 and 1105 motors, which it actually states in its recommended parts on the Banggood store page. So unless you're planning to use 1306 motors, or if you're okay with drilling out the holes, then you should give this one a pass. I have already contacted Banggood about this, and I'll let you guys know the outcome soon. There are a few more features that I want to mention, like the pod that holds and protects your HS1177 style cameras, and also your VTX. However, depending on which VTX you have, it may prove difficult when changing channels due to the back plate being in the way. I want to point out the ingenious way the pod side plates are put together. It's quite innovative and good thinking out of the box, and all credit goes to the original designer. Another great feature of this frame is that you can change into a line of sight acro frame by easily leaving the pod off. This will free itself from the weight and turn itself into a very fast and zippy little thing. You'll be able to do acrobatics in such a way that is only made possible by losing the pod and the FPV aspect altogether. I really like how versatile this frame is, and how it lets you choose whether to put all the ESCs and its wiring under the frame via the small hole that is there for your motor wires to pass through. Or you can just take the standard route and put your ESCs up top. As for innovation, if we were to judge the RX130 on its own, then it would have gotten high marks for its unique design. However, Realacc took their inspiration from Armatan's Morphite 155, and by inspiration I do mean carbon copy. But I have to give Realacc some credit for making such a solid copy, albeit the muck up with the motors. And finally, for this category I give Relacc's RX130 a 4 out of 5. I think on its own the RX130 deserves this score. Even though it's a copy, it still carries the same design principles as the original, though all credit goes to Laurent from Armatan for creating such a unique frame. To summarize, here are the current scores. For presentation, 2.6. For design, 4.0. And here are the remaining categories. Join us in part 2 to find out the final scores. Before we end this video, I just want you guys to understand that our rating system isn't perfect yet, so please bear with us. We will be making tweaks and refinements for our future videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've poured a lot of time and effort, and I hope these latest videos will be successful. So if you liked this video and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. These hex button head screws are the longest ones that they've included with the frame are not quite long enough, so you will need some longer screws. Fortunately, I have some 14mm screws lying around somewhere, though the 10 or 12mm would work as well. So with the power of editing, I can quickly change that in 3, 2, 1. This thing is a real tight squeeze. I think I may have to use sandpaper to sand it down so it will fit all the way in. It's meant to be pushed in just a little bit more. It's supposed to go all the way into here. So I'm gonna go in and do that, and I'll be back later.